In this video, I will explain the very basics of Creatures of Sonaria to players. In-game and in Trade Realm, there are various abbreviations that can be confusing to new players. Here is a very short list. Coasting or coasters. This means kill on-sight players. These players are often found killing multiple people at one time around hotspot areas. Stuff like BW, SD, stuff like that are just short terms for traits. Like BW is short for bite weight. On screen, I'll put all the abbreviations I can so that it's easier to read or explain. Next is common scams in Trade Realm. If you have less than 10 species, you cannot go to Trade Realm. This does not count duplicate species. It has to be separate species in your inventory. The most common scams that can be found in Trade Realm is a spin wheel, where they will ask you for a certain amount of mush, and you trade it to them, and then y'all leave the trade, and then they spin the wheel. Oftentimes, this will result in them leaving the game or just refusing to give you your reward, quote unquote. There is another common scam where they ask you to put your trade in first, and then in the second trade, they will give you the item. However, in most cases, they just leave the game. There is also a common mistake where a lot of new players will be underpaid or overpaying for things they're trying to get. So I highly recommend going through the official Sonaria server, asking me in the chat, or asking the wiki of prices of certain items. There are many different ways to learn PvP in this game, but I mainly recommend practicing with a friend to learn PvP. Flyers tend to go after smaller prey or attack bigger creatures from behind, especially those without tail whip. Landbounds are usually fast and nimble or slow and tanky, so pick your battles wisely. Seabounds by far are the most deadly, often hiding in the water so they can grab you and bring you under the water. Since there are many different ways to PvP, it takes a lot of time to learn which style is your best. So take your time, learn each one. And as a warning, whatever you do, as a flyer, do not fly close to the water. Faster ways to grow. Satiated is an element that lowers growth time and hunger. You can get it from berries, carcasses, or a plushie called Clover Blossom. You can grow faster as an omnivore or a herbivore by eating berries or carcasses from dead players. Herbivores can only eat photovore or photocarnivore carcasses, also known as plant carcasses. You can grow faster as an omnivore or a carnivore by eating carcasses from dead players. The migration region, which circles around the map every 40 minutes, is another great way to grow faster. When you have the Clover Blossom plushie equipped, it allows you to drink water and get satiated that way. However, it only gives you 150. Death zones. Oasis, or also known as desert, Pride Rocks, Central Rock Faces are all common places to have fights. However, it is good to check the map to see if there are any clusters of people in one spot. That is where you should avoid. What are ailments? Ailments are effects that are caused throughout the game. Some are good, some are bad. Most of the bad ones are through PvP and caused by biting creatures or them biting you. Here is a list of PvP ailments to look out for. Burn. Debuffs health regen depending on the amount dealt. Poison. Debuffs stamina regen and deals damage depending on the amount dealt. Necropoison cancels most active abilities and adds the chance to cause confusion, inverts controls, depending on the amount dealt. Bleed disables health regen. Corrosion debuffs weight and deals damage depending on the amount dealt. Disease buffs hunger and thirst, causing it to go lower faster, and lower stamina and health regen. Frostbite buffs hunger and adds to your bite cooldown, making you bite slower, and debuffs stamina regen. Injury debuffs overall movement speed depending on the amount dealt. Paralyze or freeze, usually defense but can also be used in offense, debuffs all movement speeds heavily. Shredded wings disables flight for a short amount of time. How to heal. There are really bad ailments out there like necropoison, which causes confusion that inverts your controls and cancels active abilities. Active abilities are things that you press buttons to activate, like 1, 2, 3, etc. Or bleed, which stops you from healing until you get rid of it. You can use mud roll to boost your HP regen, as well as hide your scent at mud piles, or just hide your scent by mud rolling anywhere. You can lay or sit by pressing T or R, or using the emote circle. Lay heals 4 times, sit heals 2 times. However, sitting and laying can be very risky, especially in the heat of battle, so if you want to get up quickly, and I'm not sure if this works on mobile, you can double tap the lay or sit button to get up quickly. Other creatures like aquatics, semi-aquatics, or creature with the passive ability Agile Swimmer can move around the water freely. If your creature has neither of these, you will lose health due to stamina. However, this will only put you down to 5% health. Oxygen, though, will kill you. There are 3 stages of a carcass. Red, which is good to eat, orange, which will become rotten but can be eaten, and yellow, which is rotten and can give your creature the sickly ailment, which makes you hungry and thirsty, as well as debuffs stamina and health regen. This is unless you have the passive ability Iron Stomach, which will not give you that ailment. If your creature does not have the passive ability Volcanic, you cannot go into the lava at Volcano. You will be heavily damaged and be burned. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We also have a Twitch account now, so be on the lookout for future live streams.